Hey everyone, and welcome back to Plus Ultra Pitching. Today, we are going to talk about setting yourself up for success before you even deliver the softball. Today, we're going to go over the push off from the mound. Now, one thing that I see a lot of pitchers do, especially recently, is before they actually glide, push, leap forward, use whatever verb you want there. Pitching coaches use a lot of different words for when our momentum starts to move towards our catcher. But one thing that I see a lot with my pitchers is before they actually push their momentum forward, their toes for the foot that is staggered in front. So for me, I'm a righty. My right foot starts slightly ahead of my left in full motion pitching. The toes turn out to the side a little bit. For me, that means my toes would turn to face third base. For a lefty pitcher, it would mean that their toes would face to turn towards first base. And what happens when we turn our toes out to the side, first of all, now it's going to be harder to push our momentum straight forward and to really use our hips. So number one, the first thing that we lose is our hip power moving forward. The second thing we lose, or that happens rather, is once we push off and we land in our power K, most times it results in a drag foot that looks like this. It's completely sideways, the ball of our foot is dragging on the ground, the inner heel of our foot is dragging on the ground. This is what people call a collapsed drag foot. And we went in detail on the drag in a separate video, which I'll link here, so that way you guys can go check that out when you're done here. And in that video, we talked about how this drag foot being really heavy behind us really stops us from being able to turn and use our hips in our pitch. Again, I see this happen with a lot of pitchers. I don't think that the toe turning out is necessarily bad. I think that as a coach, I start to correct it when I notice it results in a collapsed drag foot. So if you're a pitcher or a pitching coach and your pitcher can still maintain a heel up position, you're probably going to be okay. But if you notice that your foot is collapsing upon this, then let's talk about some drills that can help you get to the ideal position, which is, just as a reminder, ideally, we want our toes, hips, knees, everything facing straight forward towards our catcher. So that way when we push off the mound, everything continues to face straight forward, just like we're walking, right? Because we walk with our toes facing forward towards our destination. And we would push straight forward. Notice my knee, my shoelaces are all facing towards my target still. And by doing so, just like walking, my heel ends up in the air in this really strong power K position in my legs. So today we are going to talk about how we can help you go from toes turning out from the start to toes straight forward from the start of your pitch to set you up for success. The first drill we're going to go over, you don't even need a ball or a glove. We're going to practice walking and dragging our foot behind us. First, let's just walk. I can't believe we're making a YouTube video about walking, but we are. I just want you to walk back and forth and notice that when you walk, hopefully, ideally, we want our toes facing straight forward. Toes and knees all facing towards our destination, whatever it is that we're walking to. Hopefully we're not walking with our toes facing out to the side. If you are walking like this, shoot me an email so we can help unlock some tight parts of your hips and your body. But the first part is walking. Once you have mastered the walk, we are going to move on to the walk and drag. So to build off of that, you're going to still walk straight forward towards your destination, but this time, instead of swinging the other leg forward to continue walking, I want you to drag it behind you. What I mean by that is I'll take a step forward with my right foot, drag my left foot to meet the front. Then I'll take a step forward with my left foot, drag the right foot up. And I'm just practicing feeling in my body my knee and my shoelaces facing towards my destination and dragging with my heel in the air. Once you have mastered that feeling, now you can pick up a glove and a softball. So this drill, progression number 1, is called what I'm calling the push and pause. We're going to push forward towards our target, towards our catcher, and then we're going to pause before we ever get to power K position. So we're gonna get set up as if you're throwing a full motion pitch. For me, this means my right foot is slightly ahead of my left foot. Toes, knees, hips, everything is facing square to my catcher. And I'm going to push straight forward, boom, and pause here. I'm gonna pause with my glove and my throwing arm facing straight towards my catcher. And you can either feel your body, just like we did with the walking drill, and make sure it feels the same way you did while you were walking and dragging your foot, or you can look down and double check and make sure your knee and your shoelaces are facing straight forward at this point. And you just repeat. What we don't want to see at this point, again, is heels turning out, shoulders opening up. We want to keep everything square to the target when we're pushing straight forward to maximize our hips. All right, the next progression and the last progression for this video is going to be our power K and pause. So we paused in the push, now we're going to push forward and pause in our power K. I know, I'm very creative with my names here. Same idea, we want to really focus. This video is really focusing on the push. So focus on how your foot feels, making sure when you pause in your power K position, shoelaces and knee are still facing straight forward towards your catcher. Heel in the air, I think, is the biggest tip from me, is making sure no matter what position you're in through your pitch, we want to make sure this heel is in the air, and I want you to get comfortable with that. One thing I tell my pitchers a lot is we want to be just dragging the tip of the big toe, not our whole foot. Again, I'm going to link to our previous drag foot video because I think that will be helpful for you to understand the ideal drag, and I hope that this video has been helpful to help you feel how you can get there from the very beginning. As a quick recap, but before we get to the recap, if you've made it this far in the video, do me a favor and comment the word push in the comment section below. Your comments really help me see which videos you guys like the most of so I can make more of them. And it's also just really fun to interact with all of you. And just as a quick recap, remember when we start our pitch, I see a lot of pitchers turn their pushing foot, their front foot, out to the side before they start their motion. Ideally, we want to keep our toes and our knee facing straight forward to our catcher to set ourselves up for success. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can see all of our videos. We have a free newsletter that you can sign up for at plusultrapitching.com. Give this video a like and make sure you share with anyone that you think may benefit from it. And I will see you all in the next video. As always, Plus Ultra.